Big game, big winner, big savings with Premier Heating and Air. Whether you're preparing for the biggest game of the year or the world's biggest winter competition, make sure your HVAC system is prepared as well. Get a $1,500 rebate and $400 system upgrade with the purchase of a new HVAC system from Premier Heating and Air. Experience a premier difference today. Get a gas heat checkup with a free co-monitor for only $69. Heat pump checkup with the first pound of Freon if needed, only $69. Get a free second opinion or a free new unit estimate when you call Premier Heating and Air or log on to premierishere.com. Experience the premier difference today. Locally owned and operated. Offer expires February 28, 2026.
Okay. Everything will be on Facebook as well. Okay, gotcha. I'm no stranger to this church. I have grown up in this church. I have learned how to be a leader in this church. And I can tell you, I was just like you all. Sometimes too afraid to be up here. My mother could tell you, sometimes she had to pay me to sing something. Okay, but I wanted you to be here because I want you to know some things that you can't see back there. They're going to be on the screen, okay? All right, so we are Black history. We're so proud to be Black. And let me tell you, growing up in this city, I was proud to be Black. Okay, I went to other cities and found out every time you ask somebody where you're from, they started telling me all of their mix. I was like, well, where are you from? They didn't want to talk about how Black they were. So Black history right now, here in our hometown and our community needs to be recognized. And there's some people in the audience today, you're going to be surprised to find out there's some legacies sitting right here among you, and you all need to know about it, okay? We cannot know where we're going from here unless we find out what it has been all about from the very beginning, okay? So let's talk about what is Black History Month? Why do we have it here in the United States? Well, the Dr. Carter G. Woodson, he was a college graduate, a teacher, a school administrator, historian, author, journalist, and he obtained a doctorate degree from Howard University. He got tired of hearing about American history, and we were not in it. So he decided he'd come up with Negro History Week. And then from there, it grew into Negro History Month. And now we call it today Black History Month. So we owe him the acknowledgement of all of our contributions to the United States because he decided we needed at least a week that has now turned into the month of February. Okay, to know your history is to know your beginning. Let's take a look at where we came from. All right, we have all heard about Africa, but we have no idea the parts of Africa where we came. And if you realize that the west coast of Africa is closest to the west, which is the United States, that's where most of us came from, okay? Are we looking at Africa now? All right, countries like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, okay? If you were to get your DNA tested, you'd probably find out you're from one of those areas on the west coast, okay? Some people have exceptions, but most of us are coming from the west coast here to the United States. Okay, Africa is not a country, but a continent. A continent. The U.S. is a country, but not a continent. Okay, that is so important. You might say, we don't get this in school, but you're getting it at church. Yeah. Okay, Because guess what? Your teachers are going to be challenged to not tell you this stuff in school. Okay? And I know that. So that's why you're getting it now. Okay? Be proud. Okay? All right. So let's look at the size of Africa compared to the United States. On the right side, on the left side, you can fit United States inside of Africa 3 times. 3 times. Did you hear me? 3 times. You can fit United States inside of Africa 3 times. Did you hear me? Your teacher told you that at school? You're getting it today. Okay, all right. Africa is a continent of 54 individual countries. 54 individual countries. United States is just 1 country. Okay, you got it? Africa is made up of 54 countries, and the United States is just 1 country. Okay, all right, let's keep going. Our natural resources that we have, we're the only continent that doesn't need to buy anything from any other countries. The only continent. We don't have to buy anything. We have all of our natural resources. We have gold, we have diamonds, we have cobalt, platinum, uranium, we have significant oil, natural gases, we have all the land, timber, water, everything we need to survive as a continent. Africa has it. Okay? So why then are we exposed to only the things that make us look like we don't have anything? Okay? These are the only images we were exposed to in the United States, right? We believe that all we were tribal people, right? And let's admit it, we were ashamed to know that this is where we were from, right? Let's talk about it. When we were ashamed to talk about it because we thought that's all we were, right? These are ways that they had ceremonial and spiritual celebrations for things that they felt God had provided them. So when you see them dressed up in their tribal uniforms, they're celebrating something. Maybe a wedding, maybe they accomplished something, maybe there's a spiritual prayer they're trying to get some answers for. That's what the tribal ceremonial uniform was all about. But that's all we saw, okay? All right, let's keep going. Again, those resources in Africa, we don't need them, but guess what? The Western world cannot survive without our resources. Okay, they can't function without our resources, okay? So that's what you need to know about what we provide as a country. All right, so then how did we have to come here? If you look at the picture above me, as the organized slave trade sold off slaves, all of them had to come through a building where they were moved through a building to a door of no return, okay? The door of no return meant once they got out that door, they were on a boat and were never to see Africa again, okay? The next picture is a building that somewhat resembles, and it's actual building in Africa. Most of the buildings that were used in different countries, how to get us through those buildings, through the ships and to the water. Okay, that's what that picture is. Okay, see that V shape right there? We were motioned and marched through those V-shaped columns, gotten through the door of no return, on the boats, on the water. And that's how we got to different places, United States. That's how we got to the Caribbean. That's how we got to Dominican Republic. That's how we got to Haiti, Jamaica, Spain. You can name a lot of places where we ended up being shipped off to, okay? Unfortunately, the slave trade system allowed Africans in Africa to deal with European traders as partners. And ultimately, that was how some of us got here. Maybe some of us had ancestors who owed money for something, or they happened to have something that they wanted to do as a king or leader in Africa. And guess what? Maybe our ancestors were too strong to follow the king. So he got rid of us and was able to make money for us to be able to leave. So the European slave traders and the Africans also were part of the slave trade. And that's how we got here. Okay, but please know that those who survived it are the reasons why we're sitting here. Those who survived it, the reasons why we're sitting here. Some of them said we will not be slaves, so they didn't make it. So their legacy and their ancestry stopped right there, either on the water. They said, I will not be a slave. Okay, they didn't make it here. But our forefathers did, and because of that, we're here today. Okay?
So when I sat down for an interview, Mike asked me one question. He asked me what made me choose Howard Shepherd. Why did I want to come to work out here? You know, I told him I was ready to learn.
Fred had a desire to be a mechanic and learn the transportation side or the logistics side of things. What he learned at OFTC has just taken his job and his performance to another level.
OFTC prepared me for working here. You know, it fit perfectly when I was going to school for it.
Let's talk about the foods that they brought with them. They brought with them also the skills of being blacksmiths, carpenters, shoemakers, spinners, weavers, okay? Things that kept the plantation moving smoothly. Those are the things they brought with them, those kinds of skills. And we know they could cook, right? All right. All right, the foods that they brought, because they wouldn't eat the food here in the United States, they brought with them things in their clothes, like the okra, okay? All kinds of seeds they brought with them. All right, we're the reason also from Africa that we have okra, black-eyed peas, we have rice. I said rice. Everybody thought rice came from where? China. No, the Chinese know how to work the rice fields, but our rice came from Africa. Okay? The yam, the sweet potato we call the yam, the watermelon, the sorghum, and the tamarind. All those things came from Africa, including the collard green. How do we introduce our cooking to the Western world? We taught them how to fry. We taught them how to barbecue. Taught them how to deep fry. We taught them how to do a one-pot stew. All right, and we taught them how to make greens taste like the way we love greens, right? All right, we did all of that, okay? You got a question? Okay, these crops will not only sustain the slaves during the journey, but also it helped to make American agriculture. Okay, that's what we did. We brought those things with us. It helped American agriculture to grow. Okay, so many do not know that our rice, of course, came from Africa. We know about all these foods that came. We got the cantaloupe also, we got the watermelon, and we got kidney beans. Okay, just to name a few. There are so many other things. Okay, but our gumbo would not be here if it weren't for the Africans. All right, our stewed tomatoes and okra, corn cakes, shrimp, and grits would not be here if it weren't for the Africans. Hoppin' Johns, jambalaya, and red rice would not be here if it weren't for the Africans. We know about the collard greens. We have something called chow chow, pickled vegetables. All right, would not be here without the Africans. And boiled peanuts. If my granddaddy were here, he said, oh yeah, I love my boiled peanuts. Peanut soup too. Never heard of that, but peanut soup was something popular. Our chitlins and crackling, among other foods, because those are the things they gave us to eat when they thought they didn't want it. Now, chitlins is something that everybody comes into Miller Soul Food and they want chitlins and rice, okay? I don't care what color you are, they want it, okay? All right, so moving along, here's a bigger picture of all that Africa provides. We've got iron, we've got cotton, we've got natural gas, crude oil, got gold, uranium, diamonds, grains, coffee, tea. All of those places in Africa are the places that those things come from. You see that? Okay. Now, because they have all those resources there, I want you to see the cities and countries that they built in Africa. That's one of them. That's in Africa. Stop it right there. Leave it right there. You just like my students at school. That's not Africa. I said, yes, it is. That's Africa? I thought that was California. I said, no, that's not California. That's Africa. They're going to show you that at school? You're getting it right here in church. Okay? All right, go to the next one. That's Africa. Don't you want to go? I want to go too. All right, let's go to the next one. That's Africa. All right, you see the countryside, right? So you know we got our lions, we got our animals there, right? But you still got a city right there, okay? Go to Las Vegas, you're going to see the same thing. Whole bunch of woods and a city right in the middle of it, okay? So it's no different. All right, keep going. Next city. That's Africa. Our resources have built the things that we see right here on this screen, okay? Go to the next one. That's Africa. Look how pretty that is. Okay? So don't let anybody fool you, okay? All right. We got 10 of the largest cities in Africa that I listed here. Lagos, Nigeria. We also have a place in the Congo, Egypt, Nigeria, another place in Nigeria, another place in Egypt. The Ivory Coast. We have South Africa, Morocco, and Durban, South Africa. So a lot of those cities that you see are some of the biggest cities in Africa, okay? Also, the pyramids that people go visit have never been duplicated. They're located right there in Africa. Never been duplicated. They don't even know how we did it. Okay? So let's look at some of the business people in Africa and talk about how they look. Let's go into the business people. Do they look like you and me? They look just like you and me, right? They're doing business in Africa. They're handling their business. Okay? Handling their business. All right? Top 10 richest people in Africa as of 2025. They look like you and me? We need to be aware that although not all people of color are exclusively on this list, people who look like us are also achieving success in Africa, okay? All right. African Americans brought with them a mind and an idea that helped them achieve in the U.S. Our own city has some of the best examples of success that we need to take a look at, okay? Back in the 50s, when we were able to buy land as black folks, a lot of us settled here in the Buckeye community. And because of that, those blacks were able to make a farm and a home and a living for their families. However, we don't realize some of them are still existing today. Those farms are still here. Do you know that over 90-something% of farms that were owned by black people no longer exist? They either were destroyed through some financial situation. Sometimes they were sharecropping, couldn't afford to pay for the things that they borrowed. Okay, but we have some farmers and some legacies here that have survived that particular struggle that farmers had. All right, you can go ahead and flip the next one, Chris. On Buckeye, black farmers were adjacent to each other, so the community was made up of black families who farmed for a living. These farmers were able to keep their land and pass it down to the next generation. So let's take a look at some of our community heroes, okay? The first one, Mr. James Waters and Mrs. Magnolia Wright Waters. Would the descendants of the Waters farm please stand for me? Ain't that something? Thank you. Mr. Ernest and Mamie Plummer and Drs. Robert and Julia Plummer Sr. Would the descendants of the Plummer farm please stand? Mr. and Mrs. Robert O'Neill. Would descendants of Robert O'Neill's family and farm please stand? I think they're probably all at Harley Spring right now. Oh yeah, okay, that's right, that's right. Mr. and Mrs. Robert Dale Wright, would descendants of the Wright farm please stand? I got cousin Dora too, so she's coming up. You got to stand twice. Mr. and Mrs. Forrest Screen, I'm one of them standing up here. The Screen family farm, okay? That's my dad's side of the family. Mrs. Dora Wright and cousin Doc Waters, please stand. If you're descendants of that farm, please stand. Did I skip the Conways? Okay, okay. Mr. and Mrs. Melvin Conway, descendants of that farm, please stand. Okay. Did we skip the Hodges? Okay. We did. Let's go back to Mr. and Mrs. Richard Hodges, descendants of that family, please stand. That farm, please stand. There you go. All right. Mr. and Mrs. Lee Miller, descendants of that family farm, please stand. Mr. and Mrs. George Knight Sr., descendants of that family farm, please stand. Okay, some of them are out of town and probably other churches, that's okay. Mr. and Mrs. MacArthur Evans, descendants of that farm, please stand. Any other time they'd be right here. Where's Mark? Okay, there's a grandbaby right there. Okay. Okay, wife. Okay, wonderful. Mr. and Mrs. J.B. and Clara Pierce, descendants of that farm, please stand. Okay, the Pierces. Okay, wonderful. But they gave me everything I need to know. Mr. and Mrs. O.B. Hunt Sr. and the son James, who still has that farm. We have that farm. Here I am right here. My mom could stand on behalf of them. Mr. and Mrs. Adolph Wright, descendants of the Wright farm, please stand. Wonderful. Our next generation of black farmers are also from some Buckeye natives. They just bought 25 acres of new farmland in Toomsboro, Georgia. Drs. Carisha and Terry Thomas. 25 acres in Toomsboro. Oh, okay, Jerry Wright. Our Jerry Wright farm, would y'all please stand? Jerry Wright also has a farm that still exists in the Buckeye community. Jerry Wright's farm and his descendants. Okay. All right, there are new farmers right there. We have them planted all over the United States. Some are now also making clothes from cotton made by black farmers. So they are trying to get back the land that we all used to have to work and had to struggle to keep, and now they are part of it. The Wright Brothers Construction Company, where are you? Okay, go ahead, Chris. Keep going. Forward. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, go back. I'm sorry. Okay. Wright Brothers, okay, I'm going to get you. Have a seat, Wesley. I got him mixed up on it because I got some other things I wanted to say first. As I learned about what we have gone through as people and as farmers, little did I know that the watermelon was a way that farmers were able to make a lot of money. We were shamed to grow watermelon because on TV they would make us look like buffoons eating watermelon with watermelon seeds, spitting them out, and made us feel as if that was something that we should not be proud of. But what was going on was that the black farmers were making a lot of money on watermelon, and they were trying to slow down the profit and the success. So we stopped planting watermelon. But people up north found out, hey, guess what? We're not going to do that. We're going to start back growing watermelon. So people up north have gotten some plots in those cities, and they started back growing watermelon, trying to change the narrative, trying to redirect the whole ignorance of the watermelon farmer and making people be proud of what we have done to help our community succeed, okay? So I wanted to talk about that.
At Bank of Dudley, we're your community, your bank. And with 7 branches to serve you, there's a Bank of Dudley close by. And there's a familiar face close by. The same familiar faces that you've seen for many years. The same people that you've grown to trust. Because that's what community banking is all about. 7 branches, local people, local decisions, local banking. That's the Bank of Dudley. Serving our community since 1905.
Black inventors and their inventions. Mrs. Flowers talked about some of them. I'm going to tell you some also just briefly. We helped invent the cellular phone, the telephone transmitter, the telegraph system, cars and railways, the cash register, the pencil sharpener, the blimp that you see up in the sky whenever you're looking around, the clothes dryer, the way we eat ice cream and freeze ice cream, the luggage carrier, boots and the shoes, a child's baby carriage, bottles that we put soda in, the piano player that plays on its own, eye protector glasses that you use when you're on a working construction site, the ironing board, the clothes rod that hangs up coats and jackets when you go into a store, the scaffold that people use to clean windows on high buildings, the window washer when you stop at the red light, what people want to wipe your windows, the window washer, we did that, the animal trap, the wagon, the machine for cleaning seed cotton, the station indicator, the metal bending machine, automatic shoe shine chair, so on and so on and so forth. That's a lot of stuff. How can we get along with without a lot of those things in the United States had it not been for us? We have a lot of things to be proud of, okay? All right, let's keep going. Some people here in Dublin decided that being in business was the best thing to do for their community. So we highlight someone that has been highlighted already this week. They are a couple in black. Okay, there's a Wright construction family, my bad. Go ahead, Wesley, stand up. Businesses in Dublin. We have the Wright Construction Company with Mr. O.C. Wright and his brothers. All right, so we're acknowledging them today as well. Thank you, thank you, Wesley. Hub and Mamie Dudley, owners of a merchant store, a gas station, a motel, a funeral home, casket service, a restaurant, a beauty and barbershop. Isn't that something? And they were in the Green Book. Did you know that? Did you realize they owned all that stuff? They're right here in your community. Everybody knows where Dudley Funeral Home is? Okay. Those people own all those things. Let me tell you what they were again. I said that they own a merchant store. That means like a store you go to buy clothes. They own a gas station, a motel, a funeral home, caskets, where they provided caskets for people, restaurant, a beauty shop, and a barber shop. That's a lot of stuff. And during a time when they didn't have all that you have, okay? So I want you to be aware of that, okay? Let's talk about some other heroes in our community. Mrs. Eula Sullivan Walters Talbot, the first sales floor black female hired in Dunn's department store. Everybody remember Mrs. Walters Talbot? Yes, she's still living. She's in her late 90s. Mrs. Catherine Berry Smith, the first black female bank teller in Dublin. Everybody seen her face? The first. Mrs. Nadine Miller Hunt, the first black shoe salesman hired in JCPenney and the owner of Dublin's oldest restaurant today, Miller Soul Food. Mrs. Cornelius Wright Tucker, entrepreneur of Nairobi's Beauty School of Cosmetology, the first black in the city and central Georgia area to open up a school of cosmetology for people of color. Okay? Attorney Sharon N. Tucker, one of 3 black students who integrated Dublin schools, but she's also the first African-American female to graduate in 1974 from the University of Georgia School of Law. Sharon right now has a picture in the library in the University of Georgia as the first black female to be a graduate of the School of Law. Isn't that something? Everybody know what AI is? AI, okay. You're looking at the person whose math and statistics started AI. Okay. All right, so Dr. David Blackwell, the father of AI intelligence, because of him, his math, the latest chip in the computer processor was named after him. So if you hear about Blackwell, he is the person who developed the math behind what we know as AI intelligence, okay? My young folk, you've seen a lot of people who've done a lot of things with less than what you have. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? That is my question to you. Okay, who do you want to be and what do you want to do? That is my question to you. Your teachers may never share with you people you can be. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? I got about 70 professions between the pages that I handed to you. Who do you want to be? Our younger generation is up to you to carry on, become someone with far more than what your ancestors and grandparents and great-grandparents had. You have no excuse to try to become something that you were meant to be. You have no excuse. How do you first do it? You got to have faith and believe. You got to have your family also behind you. You can have close friends, there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to also have a working career of serving people and filling a need that we need as a service in this community, okay? Things that will come from that are your money, your power, your leisure, and your fame, okay? But put it in that order. You'll get the things that you want. We are Black history. Every day you are here. You are the hope of the slave and the pride of your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and ancestors before you. You are Black history. Everybody say that with me. We are Black history. And so it is.